So, yeah, yesterday, as of recording this, the Minecraft 1 Bedrock 1.20 Trails and Tales update dropped. It's something else on Java, still Trails and Tales. So, yeah, I'm making a video on this update, partly to cash in on it, because, it's the new fancy update, but I do genuinely have something to say about it. If it was a less disorganized person, it would have come out yesterday, because I'd have made it in advance, because we've seen all the features in the screenshots, but I'm a disorganized person, so it's getting made now. Probably gonna record the edit up tomorrow. Anyway, besides the point. So this update has several new features. It's got much more than last year's. Last year's felt like an extension of the Caves and Cliffs with a new tree type, a new passive mob, as well as the stuff that's like way deep underground. Which frankly, that's part of Caves and Cliffs. So it's an answer for Caves and Cliffs. It's underground stuff. It's Caves and Cliffs stuff. Leaving us only with the swamp stuff, meaning that the chest boats are frankly the biggest thing from 1.19. So here in this, wait, 1.19 was 2022, right? Besides the point. What even was the last? Oh yeah, it was. What was the name of the last update? It was one after Caves and Cliffs before Trails and Tales. I forget its name. That's how irrelevant it was. But the most significant thing from it was chest boats. But I'm obsessing over the last update. Besides the point. So in this one we have camels, which are a new passive mob. In addition, you can use them as a different type of horse. A pretty cool addition, if you ask me. They can be useful for gameplay. They can be useful in adventure maps. They add ambience to the deserts. That's a good thing. There's the sniffer, which, I could take it or leave it. Though the fact it has 6 legs while supposedly being some sort of tetrapod really does bother me. In addition, they added multiple new wood types. For one, there was the bamboo planks, which was technically not a new wood type, but but bamboo already exists, and it's not like a tree in the same sense as other trees in the game. But if you analyze real world bamboo anatomically, you really start to realize that it is just what if grass evolved into trees, the same way conifers are what happens when ferns evolve into trees, and flowering trees are what happen when flowering plants evolve into trees, etc. But anyway, so yeah, there's a new wood type. It's a green. It's more yellowy wood type, and then there's also the cherry blossom trees, which in addition to having a really beautiful biome on the mountainside, because it's imitating something that's beautiful in real life, like cherry blossoms, very distinctively pink they be. There's also a new pink wood. So yeah, it's almost weird. For the longest time, there was no new wood types. Like they added the jungle wood in like what 2015. I don't know. They as far I started playing in 2016. So as far as I'm concerned, jungle wood has always existed. So that means that then after that for over 5 years they never added any new wood types until the Nether update when they had some special woods to be a thing in the Nether. And then suddenly they add a couple of years later, 2022, they had the mangrove trees, and then they added two more. There's definitely something to be said about the rate of new woods being added having gone massively up in the last couple of years. Could this be cool because wood cool? Could this be uncool because they're leaning on wood as a crutch? That seems really cool because it has a lot of new blocks and it has its new aesthetic, but like nothing new mechanically. Yeah, I could fall on either side. But yeah, there's no pink wood, so that's a thing. In addition, they've also added archaeology, which I think is a really cool feature. It fits in with the theme of the update of being like it's trails, traveling around, exploring. It's like, exploring ancient ruins, studying the ancient past and all that, and making your own stories with the new clay pots that are added as a part of the archaeology feature. However, they were announced for the Caves and Cliffs update. However, I'm much more willing to count them as a part of Trails and Tales than the fact that I'm willing to count the Deep Dark as part of what was the name of the update from 2022? Why was it like Dark and Swamps or something? Oh yeah, the Wild update. That was the one from 2022. But I'm much more willing to count it as part of Trails. This is part of Trails and Tales, and I'm willing to count that as part of of the Wild update for a simple reason that Trails and Tales on the whole is a fully fleshed out update, as opposed to a biome vote from several years ago being brought back along with undelivered features from a previous update, as well as the fact that the archaeology thing doesn't super aggressively fit Caves and Cliffs. Unlike the Deep Dark, which is literally deep underground caves. And on top of that, it fits with the theme of this update in that it's also, I already explained that a minute ago. Although admittedly, you could also say the Deep Dark by being a wild place with these wild mobs, that only wild with this wild skulk stuff that has like sound based mechanics. It fits in with the wild update, but you get my point. Oh, they also added armor trims, which are either going to become a new part of how armor is in Minecraft, or they're going to be quickly forgotten about because they're just randomly added in a screenshot without any kind of fanfare. Frankly, I've not seen much discussion about them over the last whole while they've existed, but frankly, I do think they're really cool. They add customization to armor that isn't leather, considering that for years we've dyed leather armor. I think it makes sense to be able to add extra bits of hard stuff onto other armors. So yeah, this is a cool feature. So yeah, that's all the major features from the updates, and now I can get on to what I'm actually here to talk about in this video, okay? So, I think that this update, maybe along with the Wild update, represents a shift in the history of Minecraft between two periods. The previous period having been defined by the update, both periods defined by the updates that were coming out at the time. So the last period would have started around when Minecraft Bedrock, when Minecraft consoles replaced with Minecraft Bedrock, and it's basically when Microsoft had fully settled into owning the game. They bought the rights years ago. They shifted things over to Bedrock, and the updates were no longer these little affairs where they did a couple new features every couple months. Instead, now once a year they do one big update, and they still do that to this day. Back when they were first doing it, they were fixing majorly broken areas of the game. That was the whole premise almost. The aquatic update was fixing the ocean, which I know I have B-roll footage of what the ocean looked like before the aquatic update here. Doesn't it look like hot shit? Doesn't it seem kind of empty? Doesn't it seem that, there's nothing there? It's just a barren wasteland you have no reason to go to. It just exists in between other places you actually want to be. And then they changed the ocean to this. There's actually stuff here, there's life here, there's things to obtain here. It's a biome that has a reason to exist. Same goes for the following update, the Village and Pillage update. Villages were a bit of an underdeveloped mess, and they made them no longer that. Admittedly, the farmers no longer farm the land, which kind of sucks, but ultimately, villages are a way cooler feature. They even tried to make it so that the optimal way to trade with villagers was not to create a fascist dictatorship, and they ultimately failed at doing that, but it was an attempt. And then with the Nether update, the Nether wasn't as broken as villages, let alone the ocean, but it was still it was a pretty homogenous area, considering it didn't feel like another, the Nether probably shouldn't be another whole side of Minecraft on par with the overworld, but it was frankly quite a minor thing before, and also it was quite an obscure thing, because if you're on the internet, you knew about it, but how do you expect some rando who doesn't watch Minecraft videos on YouTube to figure out how to make a Nether portal before they had the rune portals? So they massively expanded the Nether, and they massively improved it. It was just less of a necessary change to make, but still a very good one. And then the Caves and Cliffs update is another degree removed from that. It's like, the caves as they existed before that were a fully developed feature. They were perfectly fine. It's just they hadn't changed for years and years and years on end. And so they modernized them. They were perfectly fine on their own. It's just they kind of felt a bit out of place compared to other areas of the game, just in how basic they were. And so they made them a lot less basic. So yeah, that was a big change to that. But of course, one thing I'm going to mainly be focusing on with the Caves and Cliffs video is about how overambitious it was at the time, and how the effects of that can be seen in the following several updates. Okay, so that's going to be one of the major themes I talk about in the Caves and Cliffs retrospective video when I get around to that years from now, probably. But, basically, the Wild update was there was next to nothing in it. You can clearly see that they were recovering from having finished off Caves and Cliffs for the first 6 months of its development. And with the Trails and Tales update, it's smaller than the Caves and Cliffs than the updates that came before Caves and Cliffs, albeit not as egregious as the Wild update. But it is also very much the case that it's not really focused on fixing a broken area of the game anymore. It's just kind of adding new stuff. The theme almost seems to have been tacked on at the end. They said it existed at Minecon during Minecon Live 2022, but I don't know. Probably did, but it might not have if I put on my tinfoil hat here. It's just a bunch of cool features added on. There's a lot of them, but and they even fit around a theme, but it's not. But it's adding more of an element of that to the game, rather than fixing something that already exists and is broken. Basically, the thesis is that they're no longer fixing things that already exist and are broken, and thus, this is a new sort of period in Minecraft's history compared to that of those prior few updates. I could have said this all in that few words, and I said it in, 10 minutes? Hey, gotta get that content. Hey, look, all in all, it took less than 10 minutes for me to explain, so, yeah. Okay, so In truth, I'm only recording this bit of the outro after recording the audio. I've not done the I've not that's how school brained I am right now. Oh god, I've not got the finished gathering assets. I've not started that even. I've also not edited the video together, obviously, but yeah, I'm just recording this while I have these ideas for the outro here now, so I'm going to do little bit of a quick FAQ about the channel. One, I'm just making this video because this is when the update came out. I was planning to make this video whenever the update came out, and also it's a short thing, and also it kind of bridges the gap during this whole gap in content. Why is there a gap in content? Oh, it's because of I'm playing for Tears of the Kingdom, and also because this is also exam season here in Scotland, at least for people who are in fifth year, whatever. It's complicated, okay? So I'm also having to study for exams and all that, so that's taking the time that I'm not dedicating to playing Tears of the Kingdom. So yeah, I've not really been able to work on many major videos for the last while. And yeah, it might be the thing for a while longer. Don't expect any new major videos, any new non-shorts videos for like 2 weeks at this point. And I promised the Animal Crossing video. Okay, I've not really got anything done on that. I've gotten some stuff done on a Tears of the Kingdom video that I'm planning to release, and I've also got some stuff done on a Matrix video like a month ago. Yeah, it was actually a fucking month ago. Hell, but anyway, I'm probably gonna finish those and release those sometime soon, and I might ultimately shelf the Animal Crossing video till I get passionate about it again, but I will do it at some point. It's a response to a different video, and it's gotta watch through that to get the idea hyped up again. But it is a good video. I'll probably do it sometime in June or July, or July, but yeah. So that's what's going on with the channel right now. Okay. So yeah, I just finished actually making this video, so yeah, it's the first video I've made in several weeks, and after finishing making this and looking at the audio as well as you'd be surprised how much skill you can lose in just a couple of weeks of not doing something. Like, I went back to looking at HTML a few days ago, and literally it's like, I hardly remember any of this shit. Fucking hell. HTML's a coding language for context, but yeah, it's like, I forgot the only thing I'm noticing is, like, I failed to do so many best practices for recording good audio, and it's like, wow, why did I do this? And it's like, I've worked a bit on stuff for the last few weeks. This is the first time I've actually fully done enough stuff on one thing to actually finish it and upload it, but yeah, you'd be surprised how quickly you forget best practices. Like, for like visuals, normally I'd note down a couple ideas like things I want to have visualized, whereas for this I forgot about that and just got visuals in the new update, and it's like, okay, I wish I had visuals of the deep dark, and it's like, literally when I was going through the seed picker, like the seed chooser, the thing that selects, the thing where they have a set of seeds that have interesting rare things in them. And it's like the deep dark, and it's like, I've never been to an ancient city. It'd be cool to have footage of that, but I don't need that right now. And it's like, yes, I fucking did, and I ended up just getting a random photo off the internet. So yeah, that's I guess what I have to say is be careful a little bit not to lose skill when taking a break from doing something. Lol. So yeah, I have nothing else to say. So if you've watched this far as the outro, you definitely are enjoying this video. So please hit the like button, and or if you've watched this far into the video, you probably care at least some amount about me on parasocial level or whatever. So hit subscribe, please. Yeah, peace.